We're here today to present a program for kindergarten through sophomore and high school level with backup instructional material on Panama. Some will ask, why are we interested in Panama? There's various reasons. One reason is the economics and social aspects of Panama related to the United States. We actually built the Panama Canal, which is still one of the trade crossroads of the world, and we should be very interested in that because the majority of the material going through the canal is going through to Germany and to Japan, which are two of our great economic competitors in this world. And we do need to know what they're doing, especially since the German market has bought out the New York Stock Exchange and now controls 51% of everything that happens in the United States related to our dollar. And the second is the social aspects of it. They are very close to us as neighbors. Central America is close to the United States, just as Mexico is. So in Texas, our large population, Hispanic population that we have, is Mexican and then Panamanian and Puerto Rican. So basically it's one of the largest cultures in Texas, so we will have a lot of Panamanians here. To the individuals, one of the reasons it's important to, especially the young people, when I was young and in high school, right after school I got drafted, spent 2 years in Korea. I never expected to be in Korea and didn't particularly want to, but I was drafted and I was there. And because of my military career, I ended up spending 5 years in Panama and so on. So you really never know what your life is going to lead you to. And the other thing is we're in a cross-cultural society, so people are intermarrying. So it's not uncommon to have marriages between different cultures, and therefore they, the family, and all of the in-laws are going to have to adapt to that culture if they marry somebody who's got a strong cultural presence in their family. Our program today is divided into 3 parts, Session 1, Session 2, and Session 3. Session 1 is more or less on the culture of Panama. Session 2 is on the music, and Session 3 is on the dance. And this way, each of the grade levels are going to experience some type of teaching within their system. Those who have gotten on the web, and our web address is www.mecatx.ning.com. You will find all this teaching material. And we have teaching material for the teachers, a teacher booklet that will go lead through this, more or less script style. And then we have 2 handouts for the children that they, along with this, and now and in the future, this can be used as a DVD for a 55-minute class in school. We have student handout 1 and student handout 2. So the first handout is for the first session, and then the second handout is for the second session. The handouts will follow exactly what we're doing, and we'll have things in there for the elementary school level, such as drawing and tracing, thing for those who need to move a little bit during the performance. Then those who are in music classes, elementary music classes, can learn to sing or play this on the recorders or whatever melody instrument they use in their music class. And then when we get to the dance, they can learn how to do the dance from us. So, and then the program will end. We are transmitting this program on Ustream, which is www.ustream.tv. Those of you who are not familiar with Ustream, hundreds and thousands of programs are being transmitted from around the world on Ustream to anybody who has a computer. To get on our channels, you have to find my channel, which is DFKOTT, and then under that you'll find that I have several channels. This channel is called Connect Texas, C-O-N-N-E-C-T, and then Texas, T-E-X. The search engine on Ustream will find that. We also have lots of this material on YouTube. So we've got about 150 different videos on there. Most of them are educational in content. And for example, a lot of the things that we have done in the past, the last program we had, which was Mexican oriented for Mexican Independence Day, Cinco de Mayo and so on, we've had 20 to 30,000 views. So these programs will be kept there for the future and can be used by whomever wants to use this to learn about Panama or this music and dance. The first part we will be going to is the traditional dress of Panama. So first we need pollera. Lily is wearing a typical classic pollera from Panama, and we would hope to show you there a full view, a mid view, and a head view, and then a side view and back view. So we need Lily on stage with a pollera. Okay, pollera is a very interesting type dress. It's probably one of the most beautiful female dresses in the world as far as folk music and so on. It's unique in that they celebrate greatly at carnival time. They start on Friday before Ash Wednesday, and they bury a fish in the sand Ash Wednesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then they go to church after partying for 3 or 4 days and get their ashes, and especially if they're part of the Catholic religion, which was the majority of the Panamanians for many, many years. So anyway, this dress is worn primarily at that time. It's also worn at weddings and different kind of social things where the girls have their coming out parties and so on. So a young lady gets a pollera when she's young, which we'll show you in a minute, before she's 15. Then when she's 15, she gets one of these polleras. These are very, very expensive. It takes a good dressmaker about 1 year or a little bit less than a year to make one pollera. This pollera is what you call reverse applique. If you can zero in on the skirt, Lily, if you'd flare the skirt, you'll see what I mean by reverse applique. All those flowers there are done in the back. They actually hand pick out those stitches to make these beautiful flowers and so on. So the cheaper way of doing it, we'll see in a minute, is an applique. So these are appliques. As you go up the dress from the skirt, you'll see the jewelry that she has on. So if you can just hold some of the jewelry, they can see it. A girl gathers the jewelry on birthdays and different times of year when she gets present and so on. So over a period of time, she'll have a fair amount of jewelry. And this jewelry is fairly expensive. There are two kinds of jewelries, which you'll see as we go through these traditional dress. One is the fantasy. In other words, that's made for the poor people or for the U.S. people who are down there. You go and have something made so you fit into the party scene. And then the truly traditional Panamanian. So the combs you can see. So if you show her the combs and slowly do a side view, turn to the side and then back all the way around. These combs are very, very expensive. They're filigree gold, wound, in other words, with real pearls in them. Keep going. And they usually wear 3 of them, one in the back and one on both sides. These particular combs that she has on has a little curl on them. And if they don't have that curl on, they put a little thing there, a little square with a pearl in it. And supposedly if they get a headache, which they will get from this headdress, they push on that and the headache goes away. In the back there, you can see she's got a little comb that sticks up, a little tiny one, and that one is made to scratch your head because your head's going to itch when you get all this stuff on. So into the jewelry, they've taken into account what's going to happen on a hot day in Panama with all this stuff on. The other, all those little things there are called tembleques, and they're tembleques because they tremor or they shake when you dance or whatever. So they're called tembleques. Those are made out of just wire and beading. So the United States, we would call this beading. There have been many beading clubs. And you go to different hobby stores and you can buy different size beads, white ones, gold ones, and so on. String them on wire and make fish out of them. You can make butterflies out of them. You can make all kinds of things out of them. So that's the jewelry that goes with the dress. And now we need Samantha up with the other pollera. The other pollera is what you can make as costumes in school, although this one is still fairly expensive. This is applique. You just cut it out and then sew it on. So it doesn't take near the time and effort that a real pollera will take. Again, in colleges and schools, if they want a Panamanian program, the cheapest and easiest way to do this, just take one of these patterns and cut around it, and then just paint it on. You can do that with Crayola or paint or whatever on white, and that's the cheapest and easiest way to make a pollera. So she's got on the typical pollera, again, with the jewelry. Most of the jewelry that she has on, if you want to turn around, slow, side view, back view, turn around, is cheap jewelry. In other words, this is called fantasy. You can buy these for anywhere. Years ago when I bought these, you could buy them for $20, $30, $50 maybe. The expensive combs run $300 and up. So a lot of people, and especially the Americans down there who for years celebrated carnival time, would actually buy the cheap ones. And in schools you can actually make them too. You can take a comb, put some gold around it, and put a little bit of drawing into it, and now you have a comb for the class presentation or class program on Panama. Next we need the montuno. We've got Maria Lopez wearing the montuno. And again, this is for years ago in Panama, and in still a lot of countries, we only had low class and high class, which really meant low income and high income. So it had to do with how much money you got. A pollera that wins a competition in a pollera parade in Panama Carnival time may be worth $20,000, $30,000. So not every girl in Panama can afford one. So stand closer together if you can so they can compare them. This is a montuna, so this is what they would use in the interior, not in the capital city of Panama, to do the same thing, again, for weddings or whatever, but it's obviously much cheaper. This print can be bought from around the world. The top doesn't have near the amount of elaborate needlework that the pollera top has, but it's very close. So, and they wear some of the jewelry, but again, they don't put all the expensive stuff in the head. They wear a typical Panamanian hat. So this is a Panamanian hat. So now if we could have Sabrina, and Sabrina's going to stand in front of them. So far we've been talking about the Panamanians that are colonial, from the colonial era of Spain, when they got invaded, and what happened through 2 or 3 centuries and generations of Panamanians. You also have the Indian tribes. You have various Indian tribes that are still strong in Panama. The one most predominant that we Americans know about is the San Blas Indians. They're on the Atlantic side of the Pacific Ocean. They have an archipelago of islands, and for years, up until around 1970 or 80, they did not accept Panama. They did not speak Spanish. They had their own cultures. To get to them, you have to go by canoes or kayaks or pelaguas, different type of very small boats, so they were very isolated from Panama. Then they became famous. If you can zero in on that blouse she's got, that is called a mola. Okay, now turn around. Turn around all the way. Oh, they can't see it from the back. Turn some more. All the way to the front. Now pull down, if you can, the skirt so they can see the mola. They need to see that mola. That mola is in the student handout. It can be traced and it can be painted. This is the artistic work of the females from the San Blas Islands. And almost every American that goes to Panama comes back with at least one of them. Braniff Airlines, that went out of business about 20 years ago, had these as decoration on all of their airplanes. So they became very famous. San Blas Indians became very famous. And now they started having some money inflow from the systems, and they could buy refrigerators and TVs and so on. So that completes our session on the costumes.